Hello everyone, Craig Linton here, reporting back from 2045. Seen some amazing things on my travels and going to tell you all about how fundraising has developed, and I hope you're going to find it really interesting. Before that, there's a couple of things that haven't changed that I want to share with you. First of all, X Factor is still going strong, still as rubbish as ever, and Simon Cowell is still trotting out the same old lines 30 years from now. Thought you'd be all pleased to know that. EastEnders, still depressing as it ever was. Peggy Mitchell was brought out of cryogenic freezing in 2033 to bring new life into the programme, and she's still running the Vic. And finally, the fundraising preference service, we've all heard about it. It's finally about to launch 30 years after it was first mooted and after all the wrinkles have been ironed out. So there we go, three things that are still around in 2045. One other really amazing thing is fundraising and philanthropy is thriving. It's bigger and better than ever. And there's a couple of reasons for this. And over the last 30 years, fundraisers and donors have achieved some amazing things. Eradicated malaria, half of cancers are now curable, and lots of amazing work is happening. But before it got to this amazing point, things got worse, and there was another round of really terrible controversies and problems that impacted trust in the early 2020s. And this time, donors weren't so forgiving, and donations dropped off. And it was at this point that the Amazon Foundation was set up. They stepped in and they wanted to revolutionise charitable giving, just like they had for the sale of books and other goods. And this was somewhat controversial, but actually they transformed giving and unleashed this golden wave of philanthropy. And they did it with a really simple principle that charities have to work for the money, and they seek out the most effective charities in the areas that matter to you, the donor, and they want to make sure that your kindness has the biggest impact possible. And this triumph of fundraising has come from four core principles. The charities have to provide great stories and feedback for donors, or they are banned from receiving donations for 3 years. With it, there's a contract with donors. They have to commit to give a minimum of 0.5% of income, and are given an option to scheme to give more tomorrow, which increases their gift annually by inflation. In return for that, the foundation gives preferences to donors. What areas are you interested in? Where do you want to make a difference? How do you want to hear back from us? That they're free to change up at any time. And finally, and they've adopted the charity water model, where the Amazon itself underwrites all the cost of marketing the foundation, so 100% of donations goes to charity. So why is it successful? Well, I think there's a few reasons. It relies on amazing donor feedback and storytelling, and all this is tested for its emotional impact using the latest facial decoding software. And the same software that they use to recommend books and other goods to you, well, they use that to recommend areas of giving that they think you might need to, and highlight emergencies and urgent need. And this amazing feedback leads to great retention and word of mouth to recruit new donors. And finally, the emotional storytelling, it's backed up by really world-class customer service. If you've got a problem, they will go out their way to solve it. And this leads to high trust, loyalty, and legacy giving. So that's a quick glimpse into the future. Hope you found it interesting. I believe it could be a possibility with a bit of work, and I hope you found it interesting. Enjoy the rest of the session. Bye.